The building you're looking at right behind me is a 15-story condo that was built in 1964 in Miami Beach, and it had approximately 120 units, and as of August 2021, this building was ordered to be evacuated by the city of Miami Beach due to its unsafe structure. After the collapse of the Champlain Towers, the city of Miami and Miami Beach went through all of the records of all of the condos that had not completed their certifications, and so this building did not meet its 50-year recertification, and this is going to be the story of what happens when a condo dies. Now, as you guys can see, the building's completely abandoned. They got the front all closed up, and it's been empty supposedly ever since August of 2021. However, I walk by here almost every single night on my nightly walks, and I'll throw up some footage for you guys so you can see what I mean. And I'm not sure if anybody's actually still here or not, but it looks like maybe a couple of units are still occupied, although I doubt it. Maybe they just forgot to turn the lights off. And by the way, guys, you can see it's extremely windy here today, and I bought this voice recorder that's supposed to mitigate this wind, so hopefully this video is going to turn out okay for you. I know you guys like these outdoor videos. I like doing them too, but sometimes we got to fight the wind. I just asked the security person to see if she'll do a little interview with me here to try to tell me a little bit about what's going on, if she has any details, but let's see. I want to just get a little bit closer here and show you guys what's going on. I apologize for the wind if it's out of control, because it is. We're looking at like 20-mile-an-hour winds over here. Check this out, guys. You can see all the markups on the building here. They got shutters on the front door. Let's see what this little note says over here on the building. Got a little inspection record. You can see the place has been pretty much cleaned out. It's kind of hard to see through the window since it's a lot of glare going on, but you get the idea. Everything's completely empty in here. What used to be a nice Miami Beach building is now just an abandoned shell. The name of this building is called La Costa. I actually did several rentals here in the past. Never sold a unit here, but I did do some rentals here. And the building itself was actually pretty decent. It wasn't like the greatest building in Miami Beach for sure. I got the same impression from Champlain Towers when I used to do some showings and some rentals in there as well. You would never imagine that that place would come down, guys. Let me tell you, it's just something that's totally unpredictable. So basically what they want to do here is they want to go ahead and build a 100-unit luxury tower here in place of this building, and it's supposed to be demolished at some point. I'm not exactly sure when. I don't have any information on when this building is supposed to come down, but basically this is what's happening. Okay, this company called Mass Capital has purchased over 90% of the units here in this building, and they paid about $1 million per unit. And just to put that into perspective, this building was selling units anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000 prior to the buyouts. So any of the current owners here really got a great deal when it came to getting way over market value for their unit. And so for the owners, it was a pretty good deal, but then of course it does pose the question of where do you go from here, of course. Now, because the building did not complete its 50-year recertification, which basically needed a bunch of concrete restoration, which is probably all those lines that you guys are seeing up there. One of the things that was said in the engineering reports here is that the parking garage and pool deck structure was unsafe and needed a lot of repairs, and that is one of the reasons that this building was evacuated. Now, when a building like this dies, guys, basically what happens is The city came in and said, hey, nobody can live here anymore. This building is unsafe to live in, and so people were given a certain date that they had to move out until. That includes renters, owners, everybody occupying the building. And they do have security here now 24/7, I guess. You know, I see a guy out on the boardwalk at nighttime watching the back, and I guess there's somebody here watching the front right now. And so they're trying to make sure nobody goes in because the building is supposedly unsafe. What happened was all of these owners received a large sum of money, the ones who agreed to the sellout and the buyout to this developer, okay? And I'm not sure why anybody wouldn't take it, because at this point, if the building has been deemed unsafe and no one's allowed to live here, then I'm not sure why you would not take the buyout, because you're being offered basically double what your property is worth. You can take that money, go buy a nice new home somewhere else, okay? Great. But this comes with its pros and cons, okay? Since they have plans to build a 100-unit tower here, as you can see by the renderings, this is going to be yet another luxury tower here in Miami Beach, which is basically becoming the norm, okay? So back when this building was built, this, I'm sure, was considered luxurious, but nowadays it's definitely not. The problem is everything they're building now is completely made for millionaires. I can pretty much guarantee you that the price of the new building that's going to be here, the minimum starting price for the units is probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 to $3 million, if not more. That seems to be pretty much the norm now for any brand new tower they're putting here in Miami Beach. And you guys can see over there, the parking garage is all taped off. Everything is empty. Obviously, I can't go inside, be trespassing, but you guys get the idea. It's all completely closed down. Now, according to the last news article that was written about this place, there was only about 16 unit owners that hadn't accepted the buyout as of August 2021, and now that it's February 2022, I would imagine those 16 unit owners have probably caved and sold by now. So I'm thinking it's probably just going to be a matter of time before they knock this place down and put something new here. And this is not the first time that Miami Beach has done this. Since I've lived here over the past 14 years, there have been a couple of different buildings in the same situation where they basically bought out the building and they put something brand new there. The most recent example of this is 57 Ocean, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. It's a beautiful new tower, and the old building that used to be there was called the Marlboro House. And what happened to that place was it was another one that was pretty much unsafe to live in. Condo unit owners couldn't afford to keep up the place, you know, they didn't have the money for the necessary repairs to keep the building going, and so a developer started buying out the units and paying way over market value. In fact, I know someone who used to own a unit there. They paid probably $200,000-300,000 for it, and they got $700,000 for their unit. But going back to what I was saying before, now brand new units at the 57 Ocean are now selling for $4 million, $5 million, all the way up to $10-15 million. In fact, there's nothing even for sale there right now, and that just goes to show you the stark difference in price from the old building to the new building. So what are some of the pros and cons when one of these condos essentially dies? Well, on the one hand, the city gets a brand new tower here that's going to look much better than this place. It's going to be luxurious, it's going to be beautiful, it attracts more people, especially wealthy people, to the city. The problem with that is it basically pushes out a lot of the working class folks. Like, I've lived here long enough to see what happens when basically we go from having a lot of affordable units to almost nothing being affordable anymore, and this is just going to be another example of that. What's going to happen is this building's going to go up, and then the units are going to be sold for $3-4 million plus, and who can afford that? Only millionaires. That's basically where we're at with development nowadays, because it's not profitable, supposedly, for developers to build a building that's for the everyday man and for the average Joe. They don't want to build units that cost $3 $300,000, $500,000. For them, that's not profitable when they can put up a building for maybe slightly more of a cost for a little more luxury and double or triple their profit margin on the new development. Now, sure, it's great for property owners that already own units here in Miami Beach because, of course, the more expensive real estate is that's surrounding you here, then the more your property is going to go up in value. That's great for people who own here already. But it's not great for anybody looking to enter the market today or in the future. But safety is an important factor, and the collapse of the Champlain Towers was a huge reminder of that. I think the biggest disappointment, in my view, as a longtime resident here, is the fact that people can't afford these new units, and it's basically going to push out all the regular people, because if you look at any of the luxury towers here in Miami Beach right now, you basically only see like maybe 10, 15 lights on at any given moment, at any nighttime. I'll show you guys, I'll put up some clips so you can see what I mean, but a lot of these luxury towers are second homes. You know, people are so rich that buy things like this that they don't live here all year round, okay? So not only do you have this beautiful apartment here that was purchased by a millionaire, but it's usually empty for more than half of the year, which is a tragedy, guys. I mean, it's just not right, essentially, for people to have nowhere to go who actually need to work in the area, or they actually want to live here as a full-time resident. So I think that things are becoming more and more unbalanced in the economy in the United States, and especially in the real estate market. You know, we're in unprecedented times here when it comes to the haves and the have-nots, and when you see a condo die like this and the aftermath, and I think that's the perfect example of just how stark the contrast is in today's world. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, then check out this one I did over here about what happens if the housing market never crashes. Sounds crazy, but who knows? Anything's possible, and I'll see you guys over there.